Hello everyone, welcome back to Real Reds Talk. This is your official pre-match build-up for the game against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux Stadium. And we've had some early team news. As you can see on my left-hand side, right-hand side. On your right-hand side, you can see the teams that are out. Marcus Rashford starts. That's the massive news incoming. The lineups will be officially out in 10 minutes, but it's been a couple of leaks. So this is what we think, the team will be. Andre Onana in net, and this is arguably United's strongest team, I would probably say. Onana in net, Dalot, Varane, Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw at left back. You've got Kobe Mainu, Casemiro in midfield again, nice little partnership. You've got Bruno Fernandes in the 10, and then you've got Garnacho, Højlund, and Marcus Rashford up top. So just starting with the back line, I think it's very interesting. This was almost the back four that kind of kept us, that's such a good defensive record. Onana coming in hasn't worked out for him so far, but I think with that back line, you're able to play a high line, you're able to play out from the back. So maybe we'll see a little bit of a different Onana in comparison to what we saw in the first game, because what we saw in the first game, I mean, in that whole penalty situation, which Wolves probably should have got, to be honest. I said at the time, they shouldn't have got that, but looking back on reflection now, they definitely should have, and it was a clanger from Onana, and that kind of set the precedent then for going forth with Onana as the goalkeeper. So I think the back line is very interesting. The midfield, of course, Casemiro, Kobe, very nice for them to start developing that partnership. I mean, we've got kind of people who are really good in possession all across the pitch now. Luke Shaw, Lisandro back is massive. Dalot can invert. Casemiro and Kobe can consistently swap. Bruno can play in multiple positions. So it allows for rotation, fluidity. It allows for a much stronger possession game if you want to keep hold of the ball. Because what Wolves are going to do, they're not going to play a high line. They're going to sit back and they're going to look to hit us on the counter, just like they did in the first game. You're going to get, runners dropping into midfield. You're going to get Cunha going left, right, centre. Maybe Sarabia getting on the ball if he started today for Wolves. So it's going to be a tricky game. They've got some really, really good attackers, like I mentioned then, Cunha. I think Hwang Chan is his name. He's at the Asia Cup, so he won't be starting. But they have Neto. They have really, really talented players. And I really like the coach as well. I think the coach has got to play some nice football. And I believe when we did the preview yesterday, he had something like, what was it now? I think it was like 3 losses in the last 10 games. So they've been on a pretty decent run. Now, granted, they haven't played, mega stars in the last 10 games, but they still play some decent teams in there. So, look, they'll be looking to continue their form. They'll be looking to close the gap on us, by the way, because if they beat us tonight, they go level on points with us. Let that sink in. If Wolves beat us tonight, they go level on points with us. How fucking crazy is that? Make sure you get your chats in, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are just joining. The starting lineup is Onana, Dalot, Varane, Lisandro, Shaw, Mainu, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford back in the team. I'm going to touch on him in a second. Højlund and Garnacho up top. I'm just going to double check the stream's all good because I don't want it lagging or anything like it was last time. So let me just double check. We're all good. Let us know in the comments if it's clear for you. I don't want it like past couple of times I've been on. It's been a nightmare, but hopefully it's okay in a minute. If I do sound a little bit nasally, it's because I feel like absolute shit. But United don't wait for anyone. So let us know how you feel about that team. Let us know if you think we're going to get a win tonight. Can we start getting a bit of winning momentum? Because if you look at the run of form that United are going into now, and the games you're playing Aston Villa, you're playing West Ham, and teams like this. If you don't get a win tonight, which is arguably the easiest game out of the 3, you're really struggling then, because you've got West Ham who are on your tails as well. You've got Aston Villa, who obviously they're miles ahead of us in regards to this season. But, you really need to start catching up on these teams. And there's no excuses because you've got all your best players available. This is probably United's best team, innit? I mean, who would you take out? Maybe there's an argument for Wan-Bissaka there if people prefer him, but the 2 centre-backs are your best centre-backs. The keeper, I mean, probably people may say Bayinde should be in there, but Shaw's the best left back at the club. Mainu and Casemiro are probably the best partnership you're going to get in terms of balance. Bruno Fernandes, obviously the captain, and then Garnacho, Rashford, and Højlund are best 3 attackers. Anthony's been way below par. Ahmad's hardly had any minutes whatsoever, and there's no one else available. So in that respect, should be fine. I feel named Huggy says all good here. Thank you very much, sir. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for jumping in the chat with us. So yeah, let us know how you feel about that side. I'd love to see Wolves' team. I want to know who they're going to get put out, because then I can start to discuss, the tactical side of things and stuff. I think it's important to discuss the Newport game, because I know we won that game 4-2, but I don't think the scoreline kind of suggests exactly what happened. To concede 2 goals against Newport with a team that we had out, I'm not saying we were majorly at fault for the goals that we conceded, but it was still a little bit concerning when you're playing a team that's, with all due respect, in like League 2. So Wolves are going to offer, a completely different threat tonight. They're always a bogey team. Every time we play Wolves, it's always 1-0, 2-0 maximum. So you can guarantee it'll probably be a 1-0 win tonight, and Marcus Rashford getting on the score sheet. I think Rashford's interesting to go to start with him. I think when we did the preview on Tuesday, me, Chive, Sam and Shreyas, I think me and Sam said we think Marcus would start, and the other 2 said he'll start from the bench, because last year not a similar thing happened, but there was disciplinary issues. He came on as a sub and he scored. He's starting today's game. So what's the best way you can shut everybody up? What's the best way? You score, right? You score, you get an assist, you do something, you have a decent performance. That is the best way you're going to shut everybody up. And hopefully he does that and kicks into gear. I'd love to speak to him about the situation and why he did what he did, and the talks behind closed doors, but we're never going to ever get that. So the only thing we can ask from a player is now, forget all that shit that's happening, forget all that nonsense, just focus on your football, and let's get a goal tonight or an assist. I think there's opportunity for this team to start getting momentum and start getting a run. I just think they need a run of games together, and we can't have any more injuries. If we start picking up little niggly injuries left, right, centre, we're done for. We're absolutely done for. So yeah, cannot have any more of that. We need consistency in the back line. We need consistency in the midfield. And then, sometimes when you look to the bench and you need to bring a McTominay off for the last 10 minutes, or you need an Eriksen for a bit of creativity against a low block, maybe Eriksen will have an important role tonight, but I don't believe them 2 should be starting games, to be honest, when we have that midfield that you're looking at with Casemiro, Bruno and Mainu. They're going to frustrate us. They're going to be on our backs. It's going to be a very, very tricky game. But if you can get past this, then, yeah, momentum's the key thing for me. Absolutely. I want to see if there's any quotes coming out from the manager or players. See what they're saying. I feel like absolute turd, mate. Yeah, so a lot of people confirming the lineup. I'm quite a little bit shocked that the starting Marcus, but he could get an absolute reaction out of him, couldn't you? He could just be, really eager to go to shut people up. Ten Hag hasn't got many excuses here. Full squad. That's exactly it. That is my point. Like, you can't put a team out like that, and if you get battered or you get turned over, I mean, people waiting there anyway, just for an opportunity to say, I told you Ten Hag weren't good enough. I told you he's shit. Some people would rather United lose and they be right. You know what I mean? And United just win a game, so they can just say after the game, I told you about Ten Hag, not good enough doing this to this player and that. And it happened with the whole Rashford situation. Like, I actually thought at the start, when you looked at the 2 incidents isolated, I thought what happened with Jadon was his own. Like, I know Ten Hag came out and said he weren't training well and and all this kind of stuff. I've just seen a thing actually about Núñez at City. Pep came out in a press conference talking about how his first touch was bad. He needs to improve it if he wants to be playing more regular games. And then I think Poch said something about Madueke on the wing, about him needing to improve, and he's not up to the level that we require yet. And both players have said, fuck all, they've got the head down, and they've cracked on. Sancho gets criticised a little bit after Ten Hag had done everything he potentially could for him. Sent him off individual training, backed him completely, and then tried getting something out of him by going a little bit public with it, saying, he weren't training right and da-da-da. And Sancho did not like that at all. Hurt his ego, came out on social media, left it on there for weeks, and only really removed it when he went over to Dortmund. So, in isolation, the incidents are different. With Marcus, he fucked up, he went to Belfast. I think he stayed there for 2 nights. I think on a Wednesday, and then he was there Thursday, went out in the club, and then came back early. So, you can't be doing that if you're a United player, especially when you look at how young some of our attacking players are. Højlund, Ahmad, Garnacho. Even Anthony's like 21. He's the senior attacker in that team. He made his debut for United under Louis van Gaal. He's been playing year in, year out for, 8 years? 7 years, maybe, something like that. So, he's the one that people look up to. And if he's doing this shit off the field, what example does that set for the rest of him? I reckon his teammates were really, really unhappy with that kind of shit he pulled last Friday. I know people probably think, he's against Newport or whatever it is, but it's irrelevant. Like, you can't be doing that. And especially the money that he's on as well, 350 grand a week. And the way his form has been this season, not good enough at all. A fool named Huggy said, I'd be happy with a couple of goals and a clean sheet. Yeah, clean sheet would be important. Again, build on that defensive momentum. It's all about momentum today. If you start, sluggish, you don't start right, Wolves get on top of you, this could be a really, really long season. And everyone who was saying, wait till our players get back, wait until we can play a high line and we can play out from the back properly, wait until our attackers are all clicking and wait for this, and then sometimes it just don't come to fruition. You sat there scratching your head thinking, maybe it is, I can't remember what I was saying. I don't know what I was saying. Anyway, no excuses tonight. Ten Hag says once we have Martinez and Casemiro back from injuries, things will improve. Need a big performance. Exactly. I think it will be really, really deflating tonight if we get a really, really bad performance. Because we've had to drag along for so long with, Amrabat being a left back, Lindelof going over to left back, McTominay's a 6, Ericsson is a 6, Evans coming in, Evans and Maguire and Varane. Like, we've had, I think, 10 different centre-back partnerships. Onana's not been able to find his feet. He's been really, really unsettled. We've had Dalot at left back, right back, switching constantly. Amrabat in the midfield with Mainu and then Mainu, McTominay, and then just constant switches there. The attacking line hasn't been scoring, really, up until late. They've started to get a couple of goals. So it's not been clicking throughout the full spine of the team. And I always refer him to Liverpool, and I hate doing it because it's Liverpool, but the reason why they are so good and so cohesive and have, like, you can just tell they've got that raw chemistry on the pitch is because they are drilled together consistently. Like, in their Champions League winning season, you could pick the team 9 times out of 10 who was going to start. It would be Alisson, it'd be Van Dijk, Matip, Trent, Robertson. You'd have Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Henderson. You'd have Salah, Mane, Firmino. Like, you knew their team every single time. I don't think you can pinpoint one point this season where we haven't had a different 11. So consistency is mega, is really, really huge for us. Get involved in the chat. Let's see what people are saying. Onana is the weak link. Wolves would be stupid not to exploit him. Well, I'm sure they'll definitely be looking at that. Like I mentioned at the start of the stream, in the first game, he made a clanger, didn't he? He's not had a great campaign at AFCON with Cameroon. He's fallen out with them again. So, if you're a team, you're definitely going to target him. But I have a feeling, and this could get clipped up or go very wrong, I have a feeling Onana's going to have a very good game today. And I think he might turn a couple of people's thoughts. I was done with him after the Champions League because he's effectively knocked us out. And I've already spoken about, I'd fucking bring De Gea back because he's been dreadful. But I think he's going to have a good game today. Tim99's in the chat, big up to you. Saying, going 1-0 to United, tight game. Of course, it's going to be a tight game. Always is against Wolves. Look at the last 5 fixtures. I think the last 3, we've won each one and got a clean sheet. 1-0, 2-0, 1-0, I think it is. So if you're looking for any kind of stats to make you feel positive, they're the ones I would look to. I feel name Huggy. So as long as we don't see a cutback goal from Wolves and or they score a goal from set piece, then it's all for nothing and just proves we don't learn a thing. That is another thing as well. It's ironic, isn't it? Because we haven't had a consistent team, but the most consistent thing has been we always concede from cutbacks. And we always go up in a game and then concede 2. It's happening so many, and we concede within like a quick like timestamp as well. It'd be within 10 minutes, we'll concede 2. Like, the players just completely capitulate. So with Shaw back in, with Sandro back in, with Casemiro back in there, you bring that well-needed experience to a youthful squad, because Kobe Mainoo's been playing in the midfield. You've had Garnacho out on the right-hand side. Hoyland's young, still trying to find his way. Dallow's relatively young. They don't have a really strong core of like senior players, so them coming back is fantastic. And you know what? I'm just excited to watch a game of football where we've got our strongest team, and there's no bullshit now, no excuses. You've got to go win that game. Otherwise, Ten Hag is really, really going to be under the cosh, in my opinion. Let's see if there's any comments from Ten Hag. Pre-match comments, usually always get them. So, let's have a look. I'd be interested to see what Anthony thinks about all this as well. That's what I'm on about, setting examples, setting the precedent. Interested to see what reaction. So, on starting Marcus Rashford, Ten Hag says, we didn't select him on Sunday. He has taken responsibility and the case is closed. We move on. And it makes you think, you know, if Sancho would have just apologised there and then, would he be an important player for us? Would he have got his opportunity? Because that right-hand side opened up, didn't it? Anthony wasn't performing well. Ahmad was injured. Pellistri was in and out. Like, we needed someone there to be performing, and he could have took that opportunity, but, you know, he took the route that he did. So, it is what it is. I'm just having a look at our subs bench. We've got Bayard, Johnny Evans, Cabwala, Maguire, Ahmad, Ericsson, Forson, McTominay, and Anthony. I would love to see Ahmad get some minutes tonight, depending on how, you know, if Garnacho's playing well and Rashford's playing well, I'm not bothered. I don't just want to force a substitution just for the sake of it. But, you know, if one of them have a bit of a dip, bring Ahmad on, please. You know he's going to bring Anthony on, but I'd love to see Ahmad get some minutes. Likewise with Ericsson as well. You know, Wolves are probably going to play quite a deep line if you need that little bit of extra creativity and bring him on. But I think Kobe and Casemiro have that enough in their kind of locker to hurt Wolves. So I'm fascinated, man. I'm fascinated. This is our strongest team. There's no two ways about it. 100%. There's arguments, tiny arguments for little ones, but this is it, man. It's go time. Forson, interesting. Yeah, well, you know what? I wanted to discuss the youngsters, right? Oh, my throat's killing. I wanted to discuss the youngsters because I mentioned, well, we was chatting on the WhatsApp, me and the lads on the channel, and we were saying, like, how many young players, in the past 2 years, we have got rid of a lot of players. And some people will argue that's a good thing. You're setting the standard. You're setting this level like Garnacho or Kobe, the level you need to reach, otherwise you ain't getting in the first team. And maybe that is a good thing. I also think they're doing it for FFP reasons, because it's pure profit. Even if it's a couple million here, there, everywhere, they all kind of stack up, don't they? But you think of the players that go, Jimmy Garner was a big one. A lot of people was unhappy about that. Hannibal Mabry, gone, as well. You've had Chongo. I don't know if that was under Ten Hag, that might have been, excuse me, that might have been under Ole. You had Teddy Mengi go to Luton, as well. He looks relatively promising. Aronson's just gone. Isaac, I can't say his name, but you know what I mean. Just gone to Werder Bremen. Like, they're getting rid of a lot of players. Other ones that I've not even thought about off the top of my head. There's probably loads that I've not even listed. And they're just being cutthroat with him, like, boom, boom, boom. And I hope they do the same thing with some of the senior players in the team. I really, really do, especially this summer. Because how many times have we sat here per season when we're reflecting on it saying, okay, now we've still got Deadwood here. We've still got loads of players that we need to move on. We've got this guy with that guy, this guy. Like, it happens every single year. So I really hope they move on. And if you need to make some tough decisions about certain senior players, even someone like a Marcus Rashford, right? Because everyone 2 days ago was saying, you know, maybe you'd look at PSG, maybe you'd sell him in the summer, you'd take 60, 70 mil. If he scores a hat-trick tonight, are the same people going to be saying it? Probably not. But it comes a time we need to be cutthroat, because these players have purple patches in form, they have spikes in form, and it's all over the gaff. So I don't know. I want Ineos to be efficient in the summer. I think we need to be in killer mode. Sorry if you can hear me like nasally breathing over the mic. I feel like absolute shite. But hopefully the stream's been alright for you guys. It's not been oh my god. Jesus. Was I speaking about the Newport game before I got interrupted? About fucking hell, my memory's just gone completely. Yeah, about the fact that they scored a couple of goals against us. And I think if you put a team out like that against Newport, we were saying 4-0 dominance, no chances. We can't be dealing with nonsense like that. So I think the player I would keep an eye on today, and I mentioned this in the previous Casemiro, because like he's got that. I think Wolves are going to be very compact, and you're going to be needing to switch play quite a lot in this game and open the space in behind on the wings and stuff to feed Marcus and Garnacho. And he's that one guy who you play it into him, and his left foot, right foot, first time can hit it. Did it in a Champions League game. Can't remember who it was against. Galatasaray, I think. Like, he's capable of doing that. And I know Cobby is as well. He has that in his locker. So them two need to be opening up the wings today. And I don't mean it in like a football sense on the wings. I mean spreading the wings, get on the ball, control this game, because they are better players than who Wolves have in the midfield. I want to have a look at Wolves' team, actually, because I'll dive into the tactical stuff. Let's see who they're putting out. So, Jose Sarr, Semedo, Dawson, Kilman, Totti, not Francesco Totti, Doherty, Lamina, Doyle, Neto, Cunha and Bellegarde. And on the bench, they've got Bentley, Aït-Nouri, Bueno, Gomez, Bueno again, 2 Buenos. Maybe it's I can't say that joke, never mind. Sarabia on the bench, that's interesting. So they've gone for a bit of steel in midfield. Cunha and Neto, though, are the ones to watch in this game. They can 1v1, they can destroy a man. So, again, it's another battle I would keep an eye on. Luke Shaw and Diego Dalot. I saw a stat actually about Diego Dalot, about most tackles completed or something in the league, and I was like, what? I don't seem right at all, does it? But apparently it's true. So I know there's a lot of hope for Dalot, and there's been a lot of, I would say, professionals in the game who have applauded him for the way he goes about his work and the way he trains. Cristiano Ronaldo said it. You can't really say that too lightly. Jose Mourinho said it in a press conference, said he'll be United's next Gary Neville. Obviously not a similar player, but in terms of like longevity and stuff, some people aren't having him. Some people don't like him. Some people would sell him. I'm very 50-50 on that right-back situation at the minute. I don't think any of them particularly take that number 1 spot. I think there is a right-back that could come in and do the job that we asked for. I think offensively, you know the 2 perks with each one. Wan-Bissaka's better defensively. Dalot's better going forward. But none of them go forward enough for me in the sense where you get that overlapping run to open stuff up or underlapping. I think that they both have the perks, but I would still question that right-back spot. It's not a priority in that sense, but it's something we need to keep an eye on. Going into the summer, you're looking at centre-backs and 8, a striker, definitely. And then there's questions, do you want to look at a Casemiro kind of replacement, or do you want to go more for a right-back? Do you want to go for another winger? I don't know. I think it's fascinating, though, what they're going to do. Right, what have we got? Who just said disappointed in that 11? How can we be disappointed in that 11? It's literally our best team. So, if someone just put a start out here, so that's interesting. Jadon Sancho for Manchester United, 82 games, 12 goals and 6 assists. Anthony's 67 games, 9 goals and 4 assists. So almost an identical record there for 2 players who, combined fees of like 150 million quid. How crazy is that? 150 million quid. And you get 20 goals or something between the both of them. Absolutely mental. That is mad. Another one here, I think this is a great tweet. Since Eric Ten Hag, Rashford disciplinary, Garnacho disciplinary, Ronaldo performance dropped, Ronaldo disciplinary, Maguire performance dropped, Maguire captaincy changed, Anthony showboat is subbed, Sancho disciplinary, Rashford disciplinary. All you man were asking for, a guy who's going to install discipline back in the team. A lot of you were asking for fucking Conte when Ollie went. Imagine if he would have come in, Jesus Christ, he would have burnt the place down. And now people are complaining at the way Ten Hag's doing it. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it. Do you know what I mean? I think he's done the right thing. He's set the standards, regardless whether you're a youth team player or a first team player. The standards are set, discipline. Whether you're Cristiano Ronaldo or Garnacho, from both ends of that kind of spectrum, you will, discipline is important and you need to keep the same standards. 100% I back the manager on that. I think it's a load of nonsense, people coming out about Jadon saying, oh, he's been treated wrong, and oh, he's done this, and oh, he's done that. Like, look at the guy's record. Wherever he's been in Europe, he's caused problems. Wherever he's been, he's caused problems. So, for me, it's no surprise that it ended up how it is. It's not. And to think we chased the guy for 2 years, for him to end up going back on loan to Dortmund, it's just United all over in it. You look at Alexis Sanchez, paid him 500 grand a week, and then ended up going to Inter Milan and paying some of his wages. It's happened with loads of players. The same thing will happen with Antony. I guarantee in a year's time, and people might think this is a hot take, right? But in a year's time or 2 years' time, we will probably end up loaning him back to Ajax and paying about 150 grand of his wages. Is this what United do, man? It's what United do. Because I don't think he's going to come good. And that's a prime example of why the manager should not do the recruitment. You should have professionals above you who are sanctioning each one, saying, yep, you should go for it. No, I don't think you should go for that. And have vetoes and things in place like that. Have professionals running the game. Because otherwise we end up with situations. Right, do you know what? Usually I'd stay on for an hour, but I'm that ill. I'm going to need to go take some tablets and rest up. So, I appreciate you guys who have joined me. I'm not sure how the quality of the stream has been, but hopefully it's been okay for you guys. Please do. Z-Edit says, of course, Rashford started. You knew it was going to happen. But yeah, please do stay locked in. We're going to be live with a post-match, me and Sam after the game, discussing it. So come and join us for that. Enjoy the rest of the game. Get your score predictions in the comments section. And yeah, I'll speak to you guys after, yeah? Enjoy it.